So in this video, let's talk about two things that a website needs. It needs hosting, so that is paying for a service to host your website files on their servers so that you don't have to put them on your personal computer and have the whole wide world try to come to your machine for your information, which is not a good thing for security. So we give our files to a website host. They put it on their big expensive servers that we can't afford, and then everybody all over the world can type in our domain or our web address and access that information. So for every website you need a host, and in Weebly's case they are our host, and it also needs a domain. And domain is like the address for your information. So target.com, mywebsite.com, myschool.edu, those are all domain names. Now, there is only one of each, so they are all unique. So a lot of domain names have already been taken, so you kind of have to get a little bit creative with it. So let's talk about a couple of domain names or domain extensions that you should be aware of. So target.com and cnn.com, they both use .com, and .com means commercial. This is great if you are a store, if you're selling products, or if you're a big company like CNN where people are going to come and try to find you and their first instinct is to write .com because it's the most popular. So .com, if you can get it, is great. Now, there are other domain extensions that are for better used for other things, and let's look at those. So we have .net, and that's network, and that's just because .com, again, all those domains were starting to be taken. So if you can't find it with .com, then try .net. And if you can't find it with .net, then you're going to have to get more creative with your domain name. And there are actual other extensions that are being created now, and you can actually create your own. So there's .info, and there could be .record, .music, .video, whatever. And try to get a domain name that way, but these are the most common. We also have something like redcross.org. .org stands for organization, and this is good for charities or nonprofits or groups or clubs or whatnot. Then we have .edu, and generally you can't get one of these. You have to kind of be issued one of these because it indicates that you're an official educational institution, but .edu is what that stands for. Then .gov, obviously this is .government, so this is going to, all the different government pages like Colorado State.gov should have .gov. So be careful and don't type in like whitehouse.net or whitehouse.com because you're not going to get what you think you're going to get. So anyway, navy.mil, army.mil, those are all .military, and there's other things like .co.uk or .co.au, and that stands for country.australia, country.united kingdom. So there are a lot of different domains and extensions. In general, you're going to work with com and net and org. So if we go back to Weebly, let's talk about how to get a domain. Now, if you already own your domain, you can transfer that to Weebly. And in order to do that, you have to click on domains. Actually, that's where you create a new one. Sorry. Go to support. And then you're going to scroll down through the topics and choose domain names. And it's going to give you tips like I'm doing in this video on how to create your own personal domain name. Weebly does give you a free subdomain. It'll be like weebly.yourname.com. Or you can create, or you can add one you purchased elsewhere. So make sure you come here. So like if you bought your domain name through GoDaddy, then you need to come here and it's going to give you a tutorial video on how to transfer that domain from GoDaddy to Weebly. And it's going to have all these different screenshots and things you need to do. And it seems super complicated. And what I would do is just get this page up, call GoDaddy and say, hey, I have this domain name. Can you transfer it to a Weebly account? And they've done this thousands of times for thousands of different people. So as long as you have this page up, they might ask you for some of these numbers where it asks you what it points to, and you just need to give them those numbers so that way you don't have to go through the headache of trying to do this yourself. And even if you have a domain name through another site like WordPress or Google or any of those places, you can transfer it, and it has help here on doing that. Now, if you don't already have a domain name, Weebly can give you a domain name itself. So if you go to domains, type in what you think you want to do. So let's say I just wanted to do my last name, Eddington.com. Well, if it gives you an X, that means it's not available. So somebody already has that website. I can try .net. Somebody already has that. And I can try .org. But I don't want to do .org because I'm not an organization or a nonprofit. So it looks like I'm going to have to get a little bit creative with my .com. So I can try Jessica Eddington. I think that's a little bit hard to remember, but it is available. So that's an option for me. I can maybe try J Eddington, and that's available to me. And I can do other things like Jessica Eddington, and it will do that as well. And just know that if you try to type a space, it'll automatically take that space out. So for me, my initials, if I do J Eddington, actually showed Jedi. So my nickname is Professor Jedi. So I'm going to try that out and pray. And yes, it's actually there. So I will click continue. And this is where you're going to come in, and it's going to tell you, okay, do you want to do it for $39.95 a year, or you can save the more years you buy? So a lot of people buy them, for a really long time because they know this is the name of their physical business and they need this website for that entire time. So for me, I'll just do 1 year, and then it's going to talk about how the fact that if you buy it through Weebly but you want to transfer it back to GoDaddy or another service, you can definitely do that. And then it'll ask you, do you want to add a new payment method or use the one that you've already created? And then it'll ask you, do you want to do private registration? And what this does is people can look up who owns your website, and it's going to tell them your name, and it's going to tell them when you purchased it. It won't give them your credit card information or any of that stuff. And it'll tell them that you bought it through Weebly or GoDaddy or whatever. So if you want to do private registration, if you don't want people to know who owns this website, then I highly recommend that you click this and you do the 1 year private registration. I don't care if people know that I own this website, so I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that, and I will purchase it now. When I unpause this video, we'll come back and see what happens after I've purchased it. So once I purchase the domain, now it's asking me if I want to add an email to my domain. So this is where I can do jessica@professorjedi.com. So you have a branded email instead of like jessica@gmail.com. And this goes through the Google Apps, and it's $3.75 per user per month. And you can also do aliases, like if you had jessica@professorjedi.com or info@professorjedi.com or questions@professorjedi.com, and you wanted all of those emails to go to one account, then you could definitely do that as well. For me, I don't really care to have a branded email. It's not important for me. But that's just because I'm an individual and I just want my contact form to go to the email I already use. If you're a business, you might want to have something like info@mywebsite.com or orders@mywebsite.com. So it also gives you a lot of different features. I just don't want to pay for this because I don't see it being a benefit for me. So I'm going to close the window. Now this doesn't mean that I can't come back to this feature, and you can always call the Weebly customer support and say, hey, when I first set this up, I didn't think I need it. Now I think I do want it. Can you help me out? And they'll be really helpful in that regard. So I'll go ahead and click close, and then it's going to refresh, and then it's going to give me my form that I need to fill out about that domain. So who owns it, what is their address, whatnot. And again, most people won't see all this information, but it is something that I have to submit for ICANN. It's required anytime you have a website that you give this information. So make sure you fill all this information out. And it looks like there's other things here, like what email do you want to use and whatnot. So make sure you fill that out. So once you get all of your information in, you're going to come to this choose a domain destination. Do you want to create a new site, add it to one of my existing sites, forward to an external URL, or don't assign a destination? So you can do this if you're not sure right now. I haven't created a site yet, so I can choose to create a new site. If I had already created a site, I could choose this option, and then it'll ask me which site I wanted to assign it to. So I can just go ahead and choose create a new site for right now. and then it should take me to a place where I can create a new site. So again, this is going to go over a couple of things about introducing me to the interface, and it's just doing this because this is a brand new site that I haven't created before. So now we're going to move on to other videos on how to edit your actual site.